Hey there again, and welcome to another website deep dive. So today we are looking into Severin Films, another company that I actually truly adore. So when you go into the Severin website, you're gonna see it's a little different. You can see it's a little bit more, I don't want to say plain, but I'm not quite sure how I feel about kind of the cream-colored background that's used. Severin is known for its bundles. They tend to do really well with their bundling, whereas like Vinegar Cinema is like a package every month. The Severin one tends to have a lot of like t-shirts and pins, a lot of merchandise. So they're very, very good when it comes to that. So when you come to the Severin page first, you're going to come onto the, basically latest announcements. There's pre-orders here for, the day of bundle. Their first big bundle for 2021 is going to be in March. So you got some time to save up for this. We'll look into that, by the way. Because there are 4 titles that are coming out. So just to give you an idea of kind of what their bundles are like, let's actually look at the big one right here for that. So this one is 238, and these are American dollars. So that's an important thing to know. So this is their first one with 4K. So Perdita Durango and The Day of the Beast are both going to be 4K releases. That's in this bundle here. So that's your first UHD from Severin. Then you get Nosferatu in Venice, which is a movie that I actually adore. And there's a Scream in the Streets. So there's like a bunch of stuff here. You can see like there's the movies, there's the jar replica, there's like at least 2 enamel pins here. Maybe no, there's 3 or 4. Actually, looks like there's 3 enamel pins here. An 18 by 24 poster, a T-shirt. There's a guy's T-shirt and a woman's T-shirt. Not quite sure why you can't have like 2 women's or 2 men's, like depending on what you want. But that's the kind of a different way to do it. A lot of features on their stuff, and their features tend to be like sometimes a little bit shorter, unless they're doing like documentaries. Their documentaries are amazing. They do like really long documentaries. But one thing I gotta say when it comes to like the featurettes that are done on a lot of the Severin films, I do find that they tend to be really good, really kind of leave you wanting more, and I mean that in a good way. So where we want to go first though is we want to go to shop, and we're going to shop all. So we're just going to click on that. And we're going to come down here, and you're going to see when we start out, it's like, because there's a lot of bundle packages here. So basically, there's the day of the bundle limited to 300. Then, of course, there's the March UHD bundle with the Blu-ray. So that's like just if you want the films on their own. That's with the swag. That's with the films on their own. And then you can buy the 4Ks by themselves. And as you can see, the 4Ks get their own little swag as well. Get the 2 T-shirts and like the pins and stuff. And there's a couple different bundles. You get it in 4K or you can get it in Blu-ray. Then they give you another option with the bundle of the Nosferatu and Venice bundle. So actually, it's kind of neat, like the way that they're doing this. I am very excited about Nosferatu and Venice. That's one that I really want to check out. It's been a long time since I've seen this movie. Of course, it's got Klaus Kinski, and you gotta love yourself some Klaus Kinski. Feature-wise, in here, there's a creation is violent, anecdotes from Kinski's final years. And apparently, that's kind of like a feature-length documentary, from what I've heard. So it'd be interesting to see that. I love the fact that they put it there with a nudity-free trailer. A Scream in the Streets, again, is another one. That's very much an exploitation one. Here's an idea, basically. So with their stuff, they do a lot of pins. It's called the Severin Hall of Fame. We're up to number 16 now. If you're a pin collector, this is really going to be your jam when you're going to the website. And although you can't really get a good grasp of it here, I actually have some of the Severin pins. They're very high quality, by the way. That's Alex de la Iglesia. I'm gonna hope I pronounced the name right. And the pin will actually look like that. It'll be a high quality pin. It's not gonna be plastic or anything like that. It's gonna be actually a really good pin. And I love the way that they're done. Their T-shirts are incredible as well. You can see we got a temporary tattoo on here. There's an art print. They do a lot of these art prints. There's the Klaus Kinski pin. I really want that one. I love there's a floating like vampire pin, which is actually kind of cool. Now they still have their Black Friday bundles available. I wish I could actually, I can't pick this up because actually I already got one of the titles in here, but there's a couple titles that I wouldn't mind having the Black Friday bundle called the Overture bundle. So what you got here was you got like the Attic Expeditions, which actually looks really good. Castle Creeping Flesh, that's a German creme. It's okay. It's like not exactly not my favorite. Family Portraits here. No Way Home is actually a really cool one. Plague Town. I got Tales of the Uncanny Coming. And Theater Bazaar just maybe a little bit too bizarre for me, but I kind of want it for its weirdness, and the comic that goes along with Theater Bazaar as well. There's another thing. See, Severin does a lot of comic books with their stuff. They've gone into to books, comic books. We'll get into like a little bit more of that as well. Now I got to go through this kind of carefully because Severin does tend to have like special limited edition slipcovers on their on some of their releases. And why do they have slipcovers only on the website? Because sometimes they'll put some of the naughtier stuff. Sometimes it's just really cool artwork. That's a limited edition to the slipcover. Sometimes it's just meant to be a little bit sleazy, and sometimes it's less out and out nudity when it comes to the to it. So I'll be going through here very carefully. This is adorable, and I kind of really want this. This is a Jess Franco tree topper. So if your Christmas is not like Jess Franco enough, you can get Jess Franco and his fez here. And I'm a huge Jess Franco fan. I have the Stephen Thrower books. So that is something that I definitely need to get down the road. This was a big one here too, by the way. You can see they do a lot of like merchandising stuff as well. So they do really well with it. This Hoarder Spider Island spider figure has been a pretty been a pretty big deal. It's sold out like twice. This is the third time it's come in. So the fact that it hasn't sold out in the third time, I'm not too bad considering all things considered. Now they do work a lot when it comes to different stuff. So there's a lot of different like categories for them as well. So let's actually go in to their shot on video label because they have something called Intervision. Now, if you've never seen the Severin's Intervision titles, then what it is basically movies that they didn't get theatrical runs. If they did, it was very short theatrical runs. They were like movies that were shot on video. So they're SOV films. Their quality, you get them, are going to be varying because shot on video films like done with a really low budget, you kind of got to expect to be different like quality when it comes to that. But they've done a really good job of putting them together as best as they can. Things like and they had some really good titles here. Beyond the Seventh Door is a really cool one. I haven't seen Mask Mutilator, but I've heard good things about it. Stuff for Little Children we got there. And you see some of their different titles down here as well, like Things, which is a big like a title if you like shot on video stuff. So let's go back to let's go over to the merch actually before we go any further. And so they're always doing like a kind of really cool merchandising. So I showed you some stuff before. There's a Perdita Durango pin right there. They do a lot of pins and like even a pen right now. A lot of pins and a lot of art prints. A lot of t-shirts actually. Now this is kind of neat too. They actually, for the first time ever, did like an audiobook like on its own. And it actually is I think it's a cassette actually. It's actually it's actually a cassette tape. So cassette tapes have been coming in again recently. They did The Color Out of Space, having the complete story read by Richard Stanley. And of course Vinegar Syndrome did the kind of licensed out to audiobooks, soundtracks on theirs with and it had like a digital code, I think, the film. But this is an actual audiobook, which I actually find extremely interesting. But I don't have a cassette player, so not so big on that there right now. Now this is what I think is really cool that they did. So this is Cruel Jaws. They actually did a novelization, and I don't mean like they reprinted a novelization. No, they got a writer, Brad Carter, to they commissioned him to actually watch Cruel Jaws and write a novelization of it. And he did. He said he is going to make it sleazier than the actual film. So he did that actually. I have that novelization. And it's the kind of feature, kind of like the bonus that you didn't know you wanted, but now you want to see like so many other titles get it. Can you imagine a movie like Spookies or Things or a film like that getting like a novelization? Like how cool it will be. Now they do really, really good with their t-shirts. I want to show you a decent t-shirt here. This is probably one of my favorites. It's pretty, like standard, but this is their Paranoid t-shirt from the Umberto Lenzi Carol Baker box set that came out, and yes, I do have that, and it's one of my favorites. They did they do like some like singles, like there they got the Female Bunch single from Al Adamson. And as you can see, there's a ton of pins. I need this Lena Romay pin. That's actually high on my list. Here they got in this one. They actually show you like what the pin gets you a better idea what the pin looks like. So let's bring it up here now. So now you can see here that a better idea of the pin and the quality of the pin. So before we just saw the artwork. As you can see, when you actually do get to see the pin, yeah, it's definitely like a higher quality than you would think just by the artwork alone. So I actually got to get the Lena Romay one. I think there's a Jess Franco one too that I got to grab because, as you guys know, I'm a kind of a Franco fanatic. Love that type of stuff. So let's get back to Shop All and look at some of the releases that I think that you guys should look into. Now, if you're going into 4K at all, these are actually some pretty cool 4K releases. Del Toro is like a huge fan of both of these films, and I think did they get Del Toro actually talking on this? Probably not. But okay, so there's a feature-length documentary on this one here on the making cultural impact of the Day of the Beast. There's an interview with the director, interview with the actor, actress, director of photography, and the short film by the director as well. So there's a lot of cool stuff on that release. And it's their very first two 4Ks that are coming out. So something to definitely look into. They do like a lot of like Italian films. So you're going to find a lot of like and a lot of just Franco films. So if you're a Francophile, if you like just Franco stuff, then you're going to see a lot of that here. So stuff like his Shining Sex and the Fulci for Fake documentary, well, kind of pseudo documentary that came out here as well. As you can see, there's so many T-shirts and so much to look at. They have a bunch of like comic books for different releases. Strange Vice of Mrs. Ward is a really cool film. I don't have their release of it yet. I have like the Shameless Screen Entertainment release, but I do want to upgrade to this one because it does have a great soundtrack. And a lot of these here, like when it comes to their titles, you'll find that they actually do a lot of times have soundtracks with them, but it'll be limited. Like for the first 3,000 copies, there'll be a CD soundtrack. And if you've never seen The Strange Vice of Mrs. Ward, it's got Edwidge Fenwick and George Hilton, and it is a fantastic, fantastic film. And Kat Ellinger does a commentary on here, so that's a must for me. Ellinger is really good when it comes to commentaries. Now they started this new line of ones called like Severin Kids films, but ironically, it's like the last that you would think about as like as a kids title. So I'm not sure if this is one of the kids titles or not. Yeah. So When the Wind Blows, I think it's kind of done tongue in cheek, because When the Wind Blows is an animated film, yes, but it's an animated film about a British couple trying to survive after a nuclear holocaust. So obviously not really a kids type of title. They actually got Al Abson's kids title there, so called Carnival Magic, which I haven't had a chance to watch it, but I'm guessing it's probably not totally appropriate for kids either. There's they have like a lot of these Mondo things like the Wild Wild World of James Mansfield, Mondo Ballarotto, which was actually narrated by the late great Boris Karloff. Peanut Butter Solution, I think, was the first kids title that they did. They do a lot of these here with these like alternate slipcovers and artwork that are really nice. The Boys Next Door, actually, Penelope Spears film. So this is like not a small film or by a small director. It's actually a really cool little film. It was a film made in the 80s. It starred Maxwell Caulfield and Charlie Sheen at pretty much at the peak for both of them. It's directed by of course Penelope Spears, who's directed so many cool films. For me, one of her big things was the Decline of the Western Civilization trilogy, the documentary that she did. But a lot of people are going to remember from like Wayne's World and stuff like that. This was co-written by Glenn Morgan and James Wong. I don't even know if I knew that actually at the time that I watched this film, because I don't think I knew who they were. Now, what's kind of neat in here is that Christopher McDonald is in this, and if you've seen much of Maxwell Caulfield stuff, then you've seen Grease 2, and Grease 2 also has Christopher McDonald. So they've actually worked in a couple films together. This release, by the way, I've got in my library, and it's really, really good. It is like loaded with features. I mean like totally loaded with features. Paganini Horror is a pretty cool one. It's a weird one, but it's a cool one too. The Black Cat, also a great release from them, and not everybody loves it, but I really do. Their Killer Crocodile 2 disc edition with the slipcover, I do recommend that. That has Killer Crocodile, Killer Crocodile 2. Also, Wax Mask, that's pretty much a given. It was going to be a Lucio Fulci film. Unfortunately, Lucio Fulci passed away. So Sergio Stavletti's the guy that worked on a lot of the makeup and effects for both for D'Argento and many other people worked on it. I gotta recommend, if you like really crazy and really insane films, I recommend Night Killer. I recommend getting like Night Killer, Robo-War, and Shocking Dark. They really do go together. I tried to get a clearance t-shirt for Robo-War, and they sold out of my size, but I like the t-shirt so much, I think my better half went ahead and grabbed like the smaller t-shirt just because she liked the artwork on it. Uncanny is a cool little one that they put out. Death Warmed Over I need to grab. That's also it's a exploitation title done, I'm pretty sure it's in New Zealand, but I gotta make sure. Yeah, so it's New Zealand. It's 3 years before Peter Jackson did Bad Taste. This one came out. It was kind of the first of its kind at its time. It stars Michael Hurst, who played Aeolus in Hercules: The Legendary Journeys. It's a really cool little film. It's a really strange and insane little film. That's one of the things you're going to notice here. Like, it's going to be a lot of really strange, a lot of insane films. But stuff that are going to be really interesting to watch. Now, a film that everybody needs in their collection, if you like film at all, is Next to Kin. Next to Kin is probably one of the great exploitation films of all time. I do recommend that you check it out. It is like high on my list of ones to grab, and it is so good. As you can see, there are pages upon pages of stuff. Now, one thing to note is you can go into here. Let's see if I got it here now. Let's go to quick view first. See if we can do it this way. Just basically, add to cart. It's actually pretty easy when it comes to their system. So let's look at their shipping now, because I cannot remember what their shipping policy is. We looked at shipping policies for another company there recently. So they do have a threshold for free shipping. So free shipping in Canada is over $100, and free shipping in the US is over $80. And if you're international, then like in the UK or somewhere, then it is over 130 over 30. They got a thing on there, canceling and editing orders, that type of thing. There's their entire film catalogs here as well. Now, Severin does have not just this. They have like what am I looking for? They have a podcast as well. So a good way to find out about some stuff coming up for Severin's releases is to check out their podcast too. So let's just go to one of their later pages. So they have a lot of like really, really cheaper titles in the library. They do still go with like some of the like the DVDs, and you don't see like a lot of companies that still carry or promote or do DVDs now. But Severin is one of the companies that do still give you that option. And I've noticed that they've done a lot of these where basically it's signed. So they get like signed editions of stuff. They had like Barbara Steele signed some of one that she did. But it is just, there's just so much great stuff that they put out. Like I love their shirts. This here, She Killed in Ecstasy, on Blu-ray. I do recommend that. It's one of Jess Franco's best films. It stars his late muse Soledad Miranda, who unfortunately passed way too young, but definitely one worth checking out. The Kidnap Co-Head Axe double feature. This was one I got to grab myself too. For a while, they used to have I think they had like a signed one of this one. They had a signed of a couple of these titles, and you can see it's got like new 2K scans on these here. There's actually 3 films here. There's an audio commentary with Stephen Thrower, who's actually incredible when it comes to this type of stuff. And for them, like they got their social streams up. They're actually like that. You can see like there's their podcast. So we'll go there and just show you. So here they got listed all their podcasts. So they've got 5 episodes done so far. So they've gone to March Madness, where they talk about the March titles. Bizarre Black Friday. They did that one in 2 parts. We did like announcements for Black Friday, and then he like made one last big announcement. Shocktober. They talked about the Shocktober titles, including one like Patrick Still Lives, which is a really good one. And Franco and his pals. Obviously, that's when they were doing the halfway to Black Friday one, and he had some really, really cool stuff there. So you can see other social streams on here: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, the podcast. That's actually a really good thing to have for a company. So I got to give them like really big props for that. You can do shop all, Blu-ray, DVD, and merchandise, and they do have like really full lineups. I do really like. I got to say, I'm a huge fan of their bundles. That's hands down one of my favorite things that they do. Because they feel special when you do them. A lot of times they'll have T-shirts. Like this one here has you got the film Nosferatu in Venice. You get an 18 by 24 poster, a beautiful poster. You'll get the art print for the movie, and you're gonna get an enamel pin and a vampire pin. Some people they just want the movie. They don't care about any of this here bonus stuff. And the thing is, like, they don't stick you with the bonus stuff. They're not one of the companies that are like, well, I guess you got to buy this bonus stuff, or you're not going to get not going to get the film you want. No, you can buy it, and you can even buy it with its slipcover on its own, or you can buy it like standard edition without the slipcover. So you're not forced to buy the slipcover if you don't want to buy it. They do give you the option between slipcover and the standard. I like the fact that even though they're introducing 4K, they're giving you the option between like the 4K or the Blu-ray releases of the films. And their bundles are just so well done. And they price them at different points. Some people say, well, maybe they're overpriced with the bundles and stuff. I don't think so. I think if anything, there's quite a lot of like really cool stuff that you get to see from their bundles. As you can see right here, we got like the black bundle treatment. That's still available. That one is Shock Treatment, Patrick Still Lives, and the Black Cat, which is a cool threesome actually of titles to check out. So the fact that they're doing all these bundles, and this is like something that they do on a regular basis. It's not always a monthly thing, so it's not like where Vinegar Syndrome has like a monthly like package that they do, and you can choose like get the package or just buy the films on their own. No, they break the bundles down into like a lot of separate different bundles to do, and I kind of enjoy that. I really enjoy the fact that they do that. It makes for a more pleasant and a more fun experience when it comes to these when it comes to some of these titles. Devil's Honey, I definitely recommend. Is probably the very best for me, like one of the very best of like Lucio Fulci in the later years anyway. And they do a lot of documentaries, a lot of trailer tapes. So Future Shock, the story of 2000 AD is on here. They have 2 Kung Fu trailer tapes. So if you're into Kung Fu titles, there's a Kung Fu Trails of Fury. There's 2 volumes of that. Do like a lot of the kind of like the sexploitation-y stuff too. But they do it in a kind of in a fun, kind of a cool way. And if you're somebody like you want to get some cheaper titles, they also do their DVD releases as well. And when they do their Black Friday and halfway to Black Friday sales, they do like half off, but they do like you go back like 6 months for titles. So let's go to Shop All again. So this is like March, obviously. So their halfway to Black Friday sale would be in May. That's when they normally have it. And so you're gonna May. So we got like January, February, March, April, May, right? So that's like 5 months there. So in December. So anything pre-December, for instance, would be on sale for the first time. So let's go. I say here, right around here. So things like that weren't on sale before, like maybe like Cruel Jaws, and Demonia, Enigma on Blu-ray, like titles like that. The Beast Must Die, Revenge of the Living Dead Girls, the new standard edition. Those would be on the sale that probably weren't on the sale previously. Now, one thing that they do that is kind of frustrating, but I do understand it a bit, is they do have titles that come on and they're only for their sales. But often, I'm going to let you know, often those titles that are only for the sales do actually come out after the sale as well. They did initially try to say, okay, we're going to sell as many copies of this as we can during the sale, and then what we'll do is we're going to sell the rest of the copies, the leftover copies, at conventions. Obviously, conventions aren't such a big thing now, so that hasn't been like a big that has been something that they've been had to look into. So we're seeing a lot more of the titles that would have gone over to conventions instead being brought up for the for some sales, or kind of like randomly pop up, like stuff that you would not have seen come up before. So always keep an eye out for that. But once these sell out, they normally sell out. And here's another really good pin, Derry Nickelodeon. I want a lot of these pins actually. I think the next sale, I may dive a bit into the pins a little bit. I would love to have some of these pins, especially Derry. I love Derry Nickelodeon. Rest in peace. She was, of course, the better half to Dario Argento for so many years, and the mother of Asia Argento as well. So incredible girl. They have a rainbow Severin logo T-shirt, which I think kind of rocks. But there's so much nice stuff there from Severin. So there you go, guys. That is a look into the Severin website. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. We're going to be doing like looks into the different websites, their packages, the stuff that they put out. And we'll kind of decide as we go through. Let me know, like, if you're enjoying these videos here, what it is that you like about them. And as I'm going to be doing one of these every Monday, so I'm going to be choosing like different companies to go into their website, look at their stuff, show you some of their releases, let you know a bit of like the ins and outs of the website. And not just that, but just kind of like with this one here, I focused on the bundles and the merchandise and the different tricks of the trade for the sale. So I'll be doing that for the other companies as well. So I will see you here again soon, right here in the film study. Thanks for joining me in the Call of Cinema. I am Aaron, and I will see you soon.